Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Okay, I'm Mr. Daniel. Alright, so let me show you how to create this simple vector graphics just by using the available tools inside After Effects, a combination of shape layers, pen tools, and also some other options that we can change in order to get the exact shape. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first of all, inside After Effects, let's create a new composition. Okay, let's just take a full HD 1080 and 25 frame rate. It doesn't matter because we are not actually going to animate it. Let's change our background color to white and press OK. Let's enable our transparency grid. Alright, so first of all, okay, we are going to create the monitor first. Okay, the body of the monitor. Okay, so we're going to take our rectangle tool, just create like a basic shape here. Okay, I'm going to change it into another color, like a bit of grayish. And then if you have a stroke, just click on the stroke options here and enable it. Okay, so a common practice that we need to apply before we progress further is to make sure everything is in center, horizontally and vertically. So first of all, let's right click, transform, and press center anchor point in layer content so that our anchor point is in the middle. Next, I'm going to open a line here on the right side. Let's undock it and then press align horizontally and vertically. Okay, now that we have our body graphic, I'm going to go to our timeline here, press enter, okay, and then rename it to monitor body. Okay, let's maintain a good layer management. So under our rectangle tool here, rectangle layer, we are going to open the contents. Okay, just click on the arrow, contents, under rectangle, and you can see that rectangle path, stroke, fill. So stroke is turned off because we remove it. We can actually delete it if you don't want to use it. We open rectangle path and we can see further options or parameters that we can change to further customize our rectangle. Alright, so the size will affect the size of the rectangle. Okay, the rectangle itself instead of the layer, position, and also roundness. Okay, so we are going to crank up the number of roundness to something like 100. Okay, let me just, okay, and then we have a softer edges there without actually manipulating the points. Alright, next we are going to create the blue screen here, and we further create the button in the middle and also the stand of the monitor. Alright, so for the screen, it's just a simple rectangle. Okay, just a simple rectangle here. Okay, and then we change the color to a bit of bluish color here. Okay, maybe not that blue. The colors doesn't matter that much. Okay, it's about the shape. Okay, I'm going to right click again, transform, center anchor point. Okay, horizontally and vertically align. Alright, and then we have the screen. I'm going to change this color to be lighter. Okay, alright, and then for the stand, okay, again we are going to use our rectangle tool, create the stand. Right click, transform, center anchor point. Sorry, not the stand, the base. Oh, sorry, we do not need to align horizontally. Okay, and then in our timeline, rename it to base. This one here is the screen. So we go into the options again under rectangle one. Okay, rectangle path, and we increase the roundness. Okay, increase the roundness. Okay, boom. Okay, alright, so this is the base. The stand, okay, how to create the stand is again by using a rectangle because that is the basic shape. Okay, right click, transform center anchor point horizontally. Okay, but the stand itself is not going to look like this. I'm going to push everything up, because when the stand is there, it's going to like bring everything down. If we look at the image, the stand itself, okay, is not a fully rectangle shape. It's actually like almost like a triangle in a way. So it's bigger at the base and smaller when it touches the body of the monitor. Alright, so when you are actually creating a rectangle, we cannot like manipulate the points, because the layer itself, the shape itself has been identified and locked into a rectangle shape. Okay, so we cannot change the points around. So to enable for us to change the shape around, let's zoom in. I open rectangle, and under rectangle path, you can see here we can adjust everything, but it's still going to maintain as a rectangle path. So we need to change this into a Bezier path. So right click on the rectangle path and click convert to Bezier path. You can see once you convert, it's no longer name itself as a rectangle path, it's just path. So by clicking the name path 1, we can actually see the points that are available here for us to change. Okay, you can move around both of them like this. Okay, so I'm going to push it like this, push it like this. This one here maybe bring up. Okay, push this to the side, push this to the side. Alright, so we have that. Okay, good. I'm going to increase a bit the size of the screen. I think it looks a bit small. So go into rectangle path and then increase a bit. Alright, and finally the button here, I think that is very simple. It's just a ellipse shape. So go under here, ellipse tool, create an ellipse, change to a lighter color. Okay, right click, transform center anchor point, and make it align vertically. Okay, and then before we go to the next part, let's rename this as stand and rename this as button. Alright, nice. Alright guys, so next, before we do the flower in the middle, you can see here there's a distinction between the monitors, right, in terms of the color. The upper one is a bit darker than the bottom part. Okay, so how are we going to approach this? Is instead doing another shape onto the monitor, we actually can duplicate the monitor body layer, and then we can move the points around so that it doesn't cover the whole monitor. Alright, so to do this, you click on the monitor body, select the layer, and press Ctrl D. D for duplicate. Ctrl D. Okay, and you can see here there's like two monitors, monitor body and monitor body 2. Change the upper monitor to a darker color. Alright, so right now we want to move the points so that it only ends like 3/4 of the monitor itself. So just like the stand just now, what we need to do is open the contents and then convert our rectangle path into a Bezier path. Okay, so once we do that, we can manipulate these points here. So the extra point here are the points that enable for the shape of the edges to be curved. So we actually don't need this point. We can just delete it. So press the points delete and press this point delete. Then you can see it becomes like that. We can just need to move the handle so that it becomes a sharp edge, right? Somewhere like this. Okay. So yep, that is how we do it. Next, the flower. The flower itself also, we do not need to draw it by pen tool one by one. Okay, that is very hard to control. So if you see a shape like this, meaning that it has points that is like emerging from the center, right? So the closest shape that we have is actually a star. So let's hold down left click on this tool here and choose a star tool. Okay, create a star. Let's change this into a yellow color. Center anchor point again. Okay, and then we open our layer here. Let's name this flower, even though it's a star. Open the contents, polystar, and you can see that polystar path. There's a lot of parameters or options that we can manipulate. Okay, so the points, maybe if we look at the example, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 points. We can change this into 10. Okay, so right now the edges are still sharp, so we can actually change like 4 of these parameters to actually soften the angles ataupun the sharpness of the points there. So let's just test it around. Okay, outer radius, right? So this is the option that you can change, right, to get the shape. Okay, all right. And then right now when you are changing the shape, it actually will maintain the original position of our anchor point. So you need to do it again. So it's center, right? Then move it to the center. Alright, so now we are done. Okay, so again, everything is done within After Effects. Okay, you can do this also inside Illustrator, but for something that you need it quick and you want to maintain the parameters of the shape layer, you can do it straight in After Effects. Alright, thank you and see you next time.